Tropical Storm Helene has formed in the Northwest Caribbean and will make a run at the state of Florida as a major hurricane later this week. And we're going to bring you the details that you need to know all about this storm in today's weather forecast. Welcome back, everyone, to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage on this Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below and get the latest weather information on Helene and all the weather forecasts that you need to know across North America here on this channel. We're almost to 100,000 subscribers, so you can help me out there by getting me to that mark as we go through today and the future weeks as well. Make sure to press the like button and the thumbs up button down below if you do enjoy today's weather forecast. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those after the video. Looking here at the GOES satellite imagery this morning, we have a trough moving in across the central and eastern U.S., bringing some unsettled weather. You're probably looking out your window there in the Midwest, the Central Plains, the Ohio Valley, or the Northeast, and seeing lots of cloud cover and some precipitation. That's with that trough. We have John down here that's making landfall in southern Mexico. We're not going to talk much about that because that system is winding down, but what has just formed this morning is Tropical Storm Helene in the Northwest Caribbean, and that is going to provide the United States, especially Florida, initially with some major hurricane impacts later this week. Before we get to that, let's talk about this trough, because in its own right, it's going to be producing some impactful weather to the central and eastern U.S. We have a big cool air aloft here sitting in the middle of the country, and that's actually bringing some very delightful temperatures to the United States this afternoon. Temperatures up north into the 60s and 70s, some heat down here near the Gulf Coast into the upper 80s to low 90s this afternoon, and as we go into Wednesday afternoon, we're much cooler near the Gulf Coast, only into the 80s. We see the 60s, 70s hanging around across the east, but a little bit of heat building across the plains and the northern Rockies up there with the high pressure system. That could get us into the 90s in places like Montana or Wyoming tomorrow afternoon on Wednesday. And then late in the week on Friday, some of that heat makes a run toward the Midwest, but kind of gets a little caught up in some of the cloud cover. So we might actually see more 80s than 90s, but still a little bit warmer for this time of year across that region. Looking at this trough, here is the 500 millibar vorticity signature, and you can see where the spin is in the atmosphere across the Hawkeye state of Iowa, Kansas, into Missouri, down here into western Illinois, and that's bringing up a lot of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. Those dew point temperatures well into the 60s across the Ohio Valley vicinity, the Tennessee Valley, down into the southeast today, and that will provide that fuel for showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be severe. This is your convective available potential energy. The higher the number, the higher the chance for some showers and storms and potentially severe weather. So the Storm Prediction Center's Day 1 outlook has a slight risk of severe weather. This is a level 2 out of 5 on the risk scale. 0 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. And you can see across the Charleston, West Virginia area, stretching back here into Pikeville, Kentucky, into the Lexington region, we do have that slight risk of severe weather. Even a marginal level 1 out of 5 back here into southwestern and western Oklahoma and North Texas. But the tornado risk is there. We do have a non-zero tornado risk, 2%, across areas of Louisville, Cincinnati, down into the Lexington, Pikeville, Kentucky region, Parkersburg over here into Charleston, and just west of Roanoke. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on some spin-up tornado potential later today. So this afternoon, scattered supercells are possible to develop across portions of the eastern Ohio Valley, and these could provide the threat for tornadoes. Not every single one of them will, but definitely seeing the potential for some spin-up tornadoes out there. Otherwise, damaging winds and large hail will be the primary focus with these storms. Moving into the evening, we start to see those storms winding down from west to east, so areas of West Virginia into Virginia and the Western Carolinas will start to see some of those stronger storms. Before we lose the daytime heating, you know, the sun does set sooner now as we're into fall, so the daytime heating will start to erode as we go later into the evening, overnight hours. So as expected, the the coverage and intensity of those storms will go down as well as we get towards the early Wednesday morning time frame. Rainfall amounts, looking at that, anywhere from ½ inch to an inch of rain across portions of the eastern Ohio Valley into the mid-Atlantic. And hey, we're not complaining. This is an area that needs the rainfall. We have extreme and exceptional drought ongoing across much of southern and southeastern Ohio, much of the state of West Virginia, and we have severe drought extending over into northwest Virginia as well. So we'll take the rain any way we can get it. Now to the tropical weather update. And here this morning, the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida has upgraded this to a tropical storm, and it is named Helene in the Northwest Caribbean late this morning. And you can see it is at 35, it's actually at 45 miles per hour here and moving northwest at 12 miles per hour. Very warm sea surface temperatures here into this region. So this system is expected, as it remains over water, to rapidly intensify as it moves up into the eastern Gulf of Mexico and making a run at northwest Florida later this week. Here is the latest 12Z intensity guidance, and this is still all over the place, but most of the consensus is this is going to become a Category 3 hurricane, but there's still potential this could be a Cat 4, maybe a Cat 5, but that could be a stretch with the system. I'm currently thinking a Category 3, maybe a low-end Cat 4 is going to be the peak intensity with this system. And looking at the HAFS-B parent model, I think this paints a good picture of what we're seeing with this system here. And you can see today this is going to be a tropical storm, as it has just been named Helene at a 992 millibars there in northwestern Caribbean, just to the south and west of the Cayman Islands and just south and west of Cuba. As we go into tomorrow, the system is going to cut really close to the Yucatan and western Cuba. I think it mainly stays over the open waters, and as long as it does so, this will be allowed to strengthen pretty quickly into a low-grade hurricane. I think a Category 1 is likely as we go into tomorrow. Then as we go into Thursday, rapid intensification Wednesday night into Thursday morning, possibly to that Cat 3, Cat 4 strength as we go into towards landfall, 931 millibars or so as it approaches just west of Tampa Bay there. And then as we go into Friday, this will make inroads into Georgia and the Western Carolinas. Still is a tropical storm, by the way, as it moves into the Western Carolinas on Friday, bringing very heavy rainfall. And as it initially makes landfall in Florida, we could see up to 15 feet storm surge across portions here of the Big Bend of Florida. So if you live near the coast of the Big Bend, you may have to, prepare for this system, and any evacuation orders that are issued in this region, definitely heed those, because that is some dangerous and almost unsurvivable storm surge in this region. And even down into the Tampa Bay region, 5 to 8 foot storm surge into the Bay region is going to be very significant too, and all the way down into the Fort Myers, Naples area, and even down here toward the Keys, seeing anywhere from 2 to 4 to 3 to 5 foot storm surge. So it's still very significant here further to the south as well. And it's going to be producing some very heavy rainfall. Inland flooding is going to be a threat with this system, not only just for Florida, but for Georgia, parts of Alabama, Western Carolinas, into Tennessee there, into Kentucky, into Virginia. A lot of these areas could be seeing on average 3 to 6 inches of rain, with which we know that there's going to be areas that see double-digit rainfall totals over 10, 12 inches with this system. It is just likely here, so definitely seeing that. And then as the system spreads its moisture into the mid-Mississippi Valley, downstate Illinois and Indiana, and into portions of southeast Missouri, northern Arkansas could see around 1 to 3 inches worth of rain as this spreads up that way into that Friday into even Saturday time frame. So there is a large area in the yellow that's a slight risk for flash flooding that extends up into the Music City there in Nashville and Knoxville, Chattanooga, Charlotte, all the way up to Roanoke here, even into Columbia, South Carolina. Still a pretty large area too in the red. That's a moderate risk for flash flooding, with numerous flash floods likely, including the Atlanta metro area, down into Panama City, Tallahassee here. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on the flooding situation with this storm throughout the week, and keep you updated on the storm as well with videos and live streams. So make sure all post notifications are turned on for that. Going into the weekend here, the height anomalies, you can see that trough. That's the remnants of Helene as it makes all the way up into the mid-Mississippi Valley there this weekend. That's that's going to provide us with some cooler weather. The Chicago lakefront, 63 Saturday afternoon. Same thing down here in St. Louis, 63 degrees with cloud cover and some precipitation. Then as we go into Sunday, that precipitation is going to start to wind down, but you can see we are going to start to see more of those 70-degree high temperatures for Sunday afternoon. Going into Saturday, you can see that precipitation here, the remnants of Helene up into portions of the Illinois Valley, so don't be surprised to see showers and storms attached to that across Chicago, Peoria, down in toward the Springfield area in Illinois, also the St. Louis region, and down even toward Little Rock. We'll be watching out for that on Saturday, and that will stick around here as well and fester as we go into the day on Sunday. So we could see additional 1 to 2 inches of rain on top of the 1 to 3 we see Friday into Saturday, Sunday as well. So these areas will be seeing several inches of accumulating rain, and that is some good news because it's dry out there. We just don't want to see the rainfall in that 24, 48-hour period. We want to see it spread out in a longer period of time. We'll keep you updated on the weather and all things with Helene here with latest videos, live streams here on the channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips. Turn on all post notifications, again, for any videos and live streams. We'll keep you covered. Make sure to press the like button, the thumbs up button if you did enjoy today's weather forecast. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll always get to those after my videos, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Tuesday out there.